In the last video, we finished importing the footage into DaVinci Fusion and covered the 3 most essential steps. Now, we could adjust our keyframes to reframe the shots and refine the camera movements. Let's look at the footage it's currently in its completely raw state. Okay, let's check the Gyroflow plugin interface on the right. First, you'll notice that the sky takes up a lot of space at the top, while the main subject is off-center at the bottom. Normally, you might crop this in editing software to focus on a smaller portion, but that would reduce image quality and cause incorrect stretching. As I mentioned in previous videos, forcing a reframe like this will stretch the lower part of the frame unnaturally. If you're using a telephoto lens, it's not much of an issue, since the wide-angle stretching isn't very noticeable. But with an ultra-wide lens like the OFF Pro or GoPro action camera, this will definitely cause visible stretching. Here's where the plugin shines. We just adjust the pitch axis, which aligns with the drone's roll, pitch, and yaw. By lowering it and waiting a moment, the framing corrects itself, giving us a near lossless reframe with proper stretching. If you've used editing software to adjust framing or scaling, you'll know that all these adjustments can be keyframed here. Keyframes act like automated controls. You set a few points, and the software handles the camera movement for you. So in this shot, if we notice that the subject is drifting to the right, we can directly add a keyframe on the yaw axis and move the entire frame to the left. Make sure the keyframe is enabled and hit recalculate. Otherwise, the keyframe won't actually be applied inside the plugin. You can see the image has already shifted. If the movement feels too strong, we can dial it back to around -8 degrees. This value is an angle and then recalculate the keyframe again. The calculation might take a moment, so we can lower the timeline playback resolution to 1/4 for better preview performance. As you can see, playback is not much smoother. As we move forward in the timeline, you'll notice the subject drifting to the right again, and this is where we need to adjust our keyframes once more. Without keyframes, you can only adjust the entire clip once, which obviously means you can't control the camera movement precisely at every moment. So at this point, we add another keyframe, adjust the yaw axis again to move the frame left, and then recalculate. After a short wait, we can fine-tune the movement if needed. At this point, the framing feels quite comfortable. At the same time, in DaVinci Fusion's keyframe panel, we can view all the keyframes we've created and display their detailed information. However, you'll notice that the transitions between keyframes are quite stiff and linear, so we simply select all the keyframes and click the Smooth option. Now the system automatically smooths the motion, and the resulting camera movement becomes much more fluid. From here on, the rest of the adjustments follow the same exact logic. If the framing shifts left again, we simply add another keyframe and move the frame back to the right. This movement can be previewed in real time, so we calculate step by step to check the overall framing. Now the framing feels right. Let's take another look at the 3 keyframes we've created. We can select all of them again and recalculate to make the camera movement even smoother. Of course, you don't need to smooth after every adjustment. You can finish setting all keyframes first, then smooth them all at once. One of Fusion's biggest strengths is that it automatically smooths the curves based on your keyframes, and after that, you rarely need to do any extra tweaking. The resulting camera movement is already extremely smooth. Compared to this, keyframing in standalone Gyroflow software is far less flexible than in DaVinci Fusion. Anyone who has used DaVinci before will know exactly what I mean. And this is the complete camera movement workflow when using the Gyroflow plugin inside DaVinci. This plugin allows you to reframe and animate camera movement using keyframes on the roll, pitch, and yaw axis. It delivers minimal image quality loss and avoids the wide-angle distortion that often comes from incorrect reframing. At the same time, it doesn't interfere with any later editing steps, including cutting, color grading, or speed changes. I hope this video has been helpful. In the next video, we'll dive into color grading in DaVinci.